There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another What the FAQ Thursdays. This is coming to you a little bit late today, and thank you very much for your patience. But it's because we were busy. I was super busy today. Great day. It's always a great day when you're busy. Also, I'm trying out something new with you guys. I just bought that webcam that you're seeing me right there. I'm hooked up my microphones finally, and I want to give you some information for next year. For 2025, this is what I want to do. I wanted to do more videos like this for the public, or maybe just for you guys that are paid members. But I wanted to focus on getting rid of the mental blocks that people have. I think that a lot of the times we know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, but we don't do it. And a lot of it is up here. We have a block. We know exactly what to do, but we don't do it. We get lazy, we procrastinate, we overthink, we get analysis paralysis and so on. And in all of my career in sales, I have been really good at training and development. I have taught so many different people how to get them out of that rut so that they can succeed, because they already have everything in here. They just need to figure out how to express it and how to use it to move forward, to have more success in their business or in their job or in whatever. So I wanted to start doing that once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'm not sure. If you guys think it's a good idea, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see if I started in 2025. The channel is growing some. I'm at 8,300 subs, hopefully 10,000 by the end of the year. And if it keeps going and going, I am just so excited, because this is what I've been wanting to do for my whole life, actually. My entire life, I've always liked to do this. Training, development, talking to people, helping where I can. And again, thank you guys very much for trusting me with your hard-earned money and with your time, that I can say something to you guys that will make a difference. Let's get to the questions. First is a comment, because this was a very cool one. At Gina Davis 2779 says, "Killing Lincoln by Bill O'Reilly. Great book. Great read and all historically accurate. I learned more about the Civil War from this book than I ever did in school. Ain't that the freaking truth? School is trash now. The powers that be have destroyed it, unfortunately. If you guys have kids and you can homeschool, do that. I love reading, and I'm always looking for good suggestions. I have a stack of books behind me, and I'm going to go through the books a little bit later on. So stay until the end so I can give you those books. They're not super mainstream. I try not to do that, because then you're going to say, well, Damien, everybody knows that book, So I try to give you different kinds of books so that maybe it'll expand your mind. And there's a little bit for everybody. Trust me, my book collection is very eclectic. I don't just use one thing or another. Oh, look, and this new camera has tracking. And now I can turn it off with gestures. Turn off. There we go. Sometimes I'm going to have to turn off the gestures, because if not, it'll start turning on. Like right now, I didn't even want to turn it on, but Next question, at B Skeeter Holton 7285 says, "What do you use to keep track of your inventory and business finances? A spreadsheet or some kind of reseller app? Also, thanks for posting the DIY cleaning and disinfecting video. It was a great video. I love that. And just so you guys know, I don't make videos just to make videos. That stuff that I made there, I actually use it in the processing room. I do recommend it. What do I use for inventory and business finances? If you notice, I don't do a lot of videos like this. They bore the shit out of me. They just bore me. But I will say, I'm probably not the right person to ask, because I don't run, or I don't keep track like everybody else does. They have a spreadsheet and they write everything down or type everything in, and they're so detailed. And this is black jeans from, and I got them at this place and this place. And I don't do that. My business doesn't work that way. At least this part of my business doesn't work that way. Not for eBay. For my wholesale is different. That is very specific, and I have my own spreadsheet for that, which I won't. I can't give to you guys, because it's my own in-house built design, and that's for me. But in any case, this is what I do. I send all of my expenses, travel, like when I travel, like vehicle travel, food, cost of goods, supplies, whatever. I send all of my expenses to my accountant, and then I send her a list of my sales, or a snapshot of my sales, and then she does everything else for me. I don't like to spend a lot of time with that, because you get bogged down too much sometimes with numbers that you forget the most important part of why those numbers are where they are is because you actually sold stuff. You actually took the time to list, to find new product, and to put it up so you can sell it. So I don't do that. What I do recommend is you go to, I forget his name. If you go to Justin Resales, I've actually had a conversation or a back and forth email with him. Seems like a cool dude. I don't get anything from this, by the way, but he has an app called Flipwise. From all the apps that I've ever tried, his works really well. It gives you net profit margins, gross profits, cost of goods. It keeps everything. It tracks it there. And if you guys want to know what the cost is, hold on. Pricing so far is free for beginners up to 24 listings, which is not that much, but that's what he's selling. And then 100 to 500 listings is $20 a month. And then 25K plus listings, contact them for the enterprise. What it does is that it keeps track of everything, and it'll show you even how long it took for you to sell it. That is a key part of that app that I really liked is it tells you, like, did you take a long ass time to sell it? That means your STR sucked. So maybe that's something that you should look into. But that's all I got to say about that. At Boats22 says, or has a question. What's one thing in your resale life that you would like to do over and why? Tough one, brother. This is, okay. Sometimes it's hard to admit, but I will admit it to you guys. And if you guys have been in the same boat, trust me, I know the feeling. It's hard to admit that you're wrong, or it's hard to admit when you failed and you feel like shit. But you got to say it out loud sometimes so that you can understand what you did so you don't do it again. A while ago, this is a long while ago, like in 2017, 2018, maybe earlier. I don't remember the dates. Long time ago. I made a business decision. I bought into a lot of different product. It was private label. I really thought that it was going to be the thing for me. I bought into all this product, and then I started investing a lot into expanding my business, more wholesale, bigger eBay store, more Amazon, and so on, right? So started doing all these things. And I lost a lot of money because I really thought at that point in my life that I was better than I was. Hard to say it for sure out loud, but I wasn't. I wasn't as ready as I am now. And was I good at what I did? Yes, I've always been good at my business, but I wasn't ready to move that fast, to grow that fast. It happens to a lot of people, and it happens to a lot of companies. Like Target opened a bunch of stores and they have to close them down. So it happens to Walmart. It happens to everybody. So you have to be careful when you're trying to grow, not to grow too fast. If you grow too fast, you can really kill your business. You can lose everything. And I lost a shitload of money. I mean, a lot of money. Basically, I had to restart my eBay page or my eBay store. I had to almost restart my Amazon. My Amazon was okay because that always does well. And wholesale was decent, but my private label, basically I lost the entire investment for a lot of different reasons that I don't want to go over right now. It's just too much information. But what would I do if I had to do it over? What would I do different? I would take more time to sit and think like I do now. I would take more time to talk to the people that actually care about me, that are in my life. And I hope that you guys have a system like that too. I would take more time to ask them what they think about certain topics, certain investments, certain changes. Not necessarily because you're going to do what they want. I rarely do that actually because I know what I want. But what I do is that I use people as sounding boards. And I don't mean that in a bad, like I use people as sounding boards only and I don't care what they think. Like, no, that's not the case. Like these people care about you. And what I do is that I think, okay, if I give them all this information, maybe they can give me a little nugget that changes my perspective, that makes me see, shit, this is a good idea or this is a bad idea. Go forward or halt and wait. Seriously, now every single day, minimum I take is 15 minutes, but usually I take about an hour in that chair. You guys can see it. Sorry, the gestures. You guys can't see it right now, but there's a chair in the corner. There we go. I can zoom out too. There's a chair in the corner that I sit at, and that is how I think. I sit there and I just shut the hell up and think. I think about my future. What's my next 5 years going to look like? What's my next 10 years going to look like? What is it going to look like? And you have to take time to do that so that, there we go, so that you don't make big mistakes that will topple you. Man, that was hard to admit. It's hard to say out loud for sure. And the hardest part to admit to yourself usually is that you're not as good as you think you are. You're just a human, right? You're just human. We make mistakes. Even if I try to help people online, I make mistakes too. I may be more advanced than a lot of the beginners or a lot of the people. Maybe you guys, I don't know where you are in your journey, but we can all learn from each other. And sometimes you need to stop and tell yourself like, hey, it's just some dude, bro. You're just some dude trying to do the best that you can. So think about your decisions before you make them and do the best that you can. That's it. That's all we can hope for. That's all I got to say about that. I have one last question that actually was sent in last week by Sky because she sent it in really late. I had already shot the video, but here we go. At Rebel in the Sky says, I have a question fitting for Halloween. I am pretty open-minded, into spirituality with a healthy dose of skepticism. Let me preface this, question. With that being established, have you ever picked an item where you might have suspected it could have brung some bad juju into your space? That's an interesting one. I'm not overly spiritual. I'm not overly anything. I am more of a science freak. I love science. I think that everything can be explained eventually. Even if we don't know now, we can eventually explain everything in this world. Everything can be explained. That's just me. If you guys believe in other things, more power to you. To each their own. There we go. There is one time that I bought a book on black magic. I forgot the name of the book, but it was black magic, and it was really interesting. I read maybe half of it before it sold. It was like 4 weeks that it took to sell, and I had it back here. And every time that I passed by the office, I just pictured the book opening up and then having a face there that did this. Oh, it gives me the chills. If you guys have ever watched the first Stephen King, the It from Stephen King, the old school one, the movie, that's what happens at the beginning. All it is a picture, and the picture does this. Ah, su madre. Ugh. It gets me all creeped out. And I know that that's not going to happen. It's impossible to, that's impossible, right? But I get that because my mom taught us about the Catholic religion from when I was a baby to, still to this day. And a lot of that stays, even if you don't believe in it, even if you don't think like your parents do or whatever, right? The way that you were taught. And even if now you know more because maybe you're studying more and you understand what's going on, it still creeps you out inside. That is the only time. Other than that, everything else that I have here, it's pretty cool. Look, like that one, I have Eddie with oh man, you guys can't see it. I have Eddie with the mask right here. Look, there. You see him right there. And I have a couple of other things that might, I guess, people would say that, that will creep them out. But no, that would be the only one. But I thought that was super cool. All right, now on to the topic of books. If you are not reading now consistently, I really do recommend it. There's a couple of things that happens when you read books. Number one, you get to expose yourself to more words, more language. And I need that because I know that I could probably be more articulate, but I am who I am and I talk like I talk and that's it. But I would like to be more articulate. I'd like to increase my vocabulary. Whether I use it or not is different. I still have a choice, but I'd like to know more words. My girl is fucking insane when it comes to that. She reads so much and then she says some words and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that means. And sometimes at the beginning, like of a relationship, I used to feel stupid because she knew so much, like so many words. But now it's like, no, she is who she is and I am who I am. And now I just ask, what does that mean? And it's like, okay, so now I'm kind of doing like a word of the day with her because it helps. I'm doing more speaking engagements. I'm doing this now. I'm doing training development. I'm more on YouTube online. So I want to be ready and I want to have my vocabulary increase. So I do recommend you read. Take the time to do it. Even if you read 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, a chapter, 10 pages, whatever, set yourself a goal and do it. Trust me, it's so helpful. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. Don't forget that. Let me give you guys the list. I'll start with this one because this is a fun one for the dudes and for the women. The Handbook of Style. Let's see. Look at that. The Handbook of Style by Esquire. You wouldn't think, most people would be like, why do you have that? I'm always in the same V-neck, or not right now, but I'm always in V-neck, in shorts or jeans, and an open shirt to cover my weapon all the time. And I don't really change. But I'd like to know about, what's up. Look, talks about khaki pants. Talks about jacket patterns and other things. And this is super helpful with reselling. Because if you're selling clothing, you need to know why people buy what they buy. This is one of the reasons why I love to read all these books, is because I want to know more than the next seller. That way I can make more money than them. Of course, you guys probably know this one, George Orwell, 1984. This is what is happening now to our country, unfortunately. It's insane. If you guys haven't read it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. This is a great read. It'll teach you about the scary things that can happen in this world if you let the assholes win. The evil, bad people. You know what? I'll give you a little synopsis in the back if you guys don't know. The year 1984 has come and gone, but George Orwell's prophetic, nightmarish vision in 1949 of the world we were becoming is timelier than ever. 1984 is still the great modern classic of negative utopia. And that's all I'm going to read. It's about a negative utopia. Insane. For those of you that are religious or like to talk about religion, and I don't get a lot into it, but this is a good book. Islam and the Future of Tolerance. This is between Sam Harris is an atheist, and Majid Nawaz is a previous a previous radical. So he was one of those people that was willing to kill and do all unspeakable acts against humanity. But he reformed, and this book is really cool because it's an open conversation about whether Islam is a religion of peace or not. And look, this is not about taking sides. This is about having the conversation so that we can understand it from all sides. And I love books like this because they're not just about bashing. They're about doing the right thing and having conversations with people. We have to respect each other. If not, we're going to end up battling each other as we do with wars since humans were alive. This is one of my favorites, The Golden Ratio by Mario Olivo. The Golden Ratio talks about the story of pi, the world's most astonishing number. This actually helps you understand if you're doing, like I do thumbnails, and I think my thumbnails are getting, hold on, let me get this focused. I think my thumbnails are getting better and better, but this talks about or teaches me the rules of, like the rule of thirds of where things need to be positioned so that you can see them better. So you're more likely to click on them and they feel better to you when you see them. Great book. I love math. This one, The Essential Wisdom of the Founding Fathers. This is just quotes and just wise things that people have said. For example, Those who expect to reap the blessings, those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must, like men, undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Thomas Paine, The American Crisis, September 12th, 1777. A lot of the things that you'll read here still make sense today. These men were trying to do better for the entire world. And they did, because they built the United States of America. It's still the best experiment we have ever had in civilization, in any civilization that we know of, that historically that we know of. Let me read one more. We are not to expect to be translated from despotism to liberty in a feather bed. No shit. That's more true now than ever. Here's another one for you science freaks. Michio Kaku, Parallel Worlds. This is a good one. The physics isn't as difficult as you would think to understand, but it tells you about parallel worlds, other dimensions, which is what I love to read on. I love it. I definitely recommend that one. This is a good one. How to Talk to Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere, Larry King. This is great. The Secrets of Good Communication. I love to do this one, or I love to read this one, and I've read it plenty of times, but it teaches you how to, like, quarterback conversations, how to, if you're having trouble mingling, talking to a group of people. Like, I have to obviously talk to you guys. I have to talk to my channel. I have to talk to my subscribers, and I have to hold your attention. Therefore, a book like this helps a lot. And of course, Larry King's a badass when it comes to speaking. For those of you that are into crime, The Last Narco, Inside the Hunt for El Chapo, the world's most wanted drug lord, by Malcolm Beath, or Baith, whatever. Great book. And my parents are from Mexico, and obviously that's where he operated for a long time. Man, the things that he was able to do, he was an excellent businessman. A shitbag, of course, that deserves the worst. And I think that we should just put him to death, and that's it. The death penalty, as in legally, right? Not just crazy shit. YouTube, don't strike this. But excellent book. You guys should read it. This is a good one for you salespeople. Zig Ziglar, Secrets of Closing the Sale. This man is already past. One of my favorite speakers ever. And all it teaches is about closing the sale. Very simple. This is a weird one. Dr. Shuker's Case Book. Oh, there we go. The Pursuit of Marvels and Mysteries. He talks about some crazy things, like these things that live in the atmosphere, like in the clouds that you can't see. He talks about these hybrid animals. I mean, I know how it sounds, but it's interesting nonetheless, because it even if it's fiction, because all this, I'm like, come on, bro. Supposedly, there's a lot of fact behind this, and I'm like, I don't know. I read it, and I'm like, nah, this sounds like bullshit. But it's still fun. And for those of you that don't understand money, this is a great way for you to learn it. How money works, the facts visually explained. For those of you that are visual learners and don't understand money, you should definitely always try to understand money. If you don't understand how money works, you're definitely going to be poor for the rest of your life. Excuse me. I don't mean poor, I mean broke. You have to know about debt. You have to know how money moves around, how it trades hands, how money started, where it began, how the banks are using money to enslave us, and so on. It's a great read. And again, it's a lot of pictures, so it's easy to read. And before I show you guys this last one, the reason I added this one into this pile is because this book really touches way down for me. When I read this book, it got me out of a very bad time in my life. I was really young. I wasn't being the best I could be. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. It was just a bad time in my life, and this book got me through that. This book helped me come back from a place that probably wouldn't have ended up well for me. James Rollins' Excavation. Fiction, of all things, because I usually, 95% of my books are nonfiction. James Rollins' Excavation. I have that whole collection back there, that's all James Rollins, everything. It's a great, sorry, I need to stop this. There you go. It's a great collection, but this one specifically, I recommend it. It is sort of Indiana Jonesy, talks about gold. There's gold that is malleable, that like with certain temperature, it starts moving and it becomes sort of watery. And that's all I'm going to say. It's an excellent book. I really do recommend it. And again, this one touches my heart because of that. And I've read this, oh my goodness, I don't know. I think I've probably gone over this book maybe 15 times in my life, which is a lot because I do read other books, but I always go back to it. Just, I don't know, because, it just hits home. I'm also reading one of James Rollins' other books called Subterranean right now. It's in my bed. I'm going to read that tonight, or I'm going to read part of it tonight. Great book too. Definitely recommend them. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for What the FAQ Thursdays. Thank you very much for sending those questions. If you are new to the channel, I send a post on Wednesdays. You send a question over, and then I do one of these videos, which is unedited, just me talking, me sometimes pouring my heart out, as I think I did some today. I just hope that we can build a stronger relationship with the channel. That way we can keep growing. And if I can do anything to help you guys succeed in your life, whatever that may be, whatever you think success is in your life is, if I can do something for you, that's what I want to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next week. Peace. And now I need to figure out how to turn this off.